and welcome back. Welcome back, Joe. Welcome back to Pokemon Thursday, the day of the week we talk about how soft my hoodies look. With my look, remember we used to do that in school, be like, I've got boobs! Did you realise you would actually grow up, become a fat little bastard, and actually grow your own tatties? Really, we're here to talk about Pokemon, but more importantly, we're going to be talking about we're going to revisit an old list that we did here on the channel, and many proper PokeTubers out there have done exquisitely and beautifully and amazingly, and a lot better than this dumb shit. But I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to reboot our own version of Pokemon's games that are my favourite Pokemon. We're going to reboot my favourite Pokemon games. That's right, because we've got Scarlet and Violet to chuck into the mix now. And not only that, I think when I did that list, Arceus wasn't out, the Let's Go stuff wasn't out. And we're just going to revisit the list, talk about a few things, and do my top 10 Pokemon games of all time. Not like side ones. I know Legends Arceus is in this list, and I know a lot of people, you would class that as a side game, but to me that's canon because it's part of the history of the main games. So I'm classing it as a main game, and it's in the list because it's fucking awesome. Again, a lot of people's lists will be completely different, so let us know yours in the comments below, your favourite, least favourite, what the games that I've got on my list that maybe you think you wouldn't, or you'd put certain higher. What? Just get in the conversation down below, because no one here can be right and no one here can be wrong. That's why I keep saying it. It's why it's so true though. I love Pokemon because it's never right for anything. If your favourite fucking Pokemon is a Fearow, you are not wrong. You love Fearow. If your favourite Pokemon's a Poliwag or a Scizor or a fucking Gligar, whoever you want it to be, you're not wrong. And it's the same with your games. If your favourite game is yellow, if your favourite game is black, if your favourite game is fucking diamond, whatever it is, you're not wrong because it's for you. It's so unique to you. The conversation going. We'll find my list. And right, this is going to be a bit weird because I think I contradict myself in this list, but in my head I feel like I kind of don't. You guys might have to settle that in the comments below and tell me if I'm right or wrong. I could be either way. I don't actually fucking know. When I say a game, I'm classing, you know, everything that comes with it together, I guess. I'm like, you know, for example, I've got Gold and Silver and Crystal on my list. Involved in that automatically is Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I class them as the same games. Yes, there's variations and a bit more to do with the newer rebooted and updated games and stuff, but the core story and the core mechanics and you know, the same region, the same starters, same, all that kind of stuff's the same. But I kind of break that rule in this list, and you can let me know if I'm right or wrong. Well, on my list, some of them are grouped together. Like, for example, I won't tell you the number, but I've got Platinum. Yes, I could include Diamond and Pearl in there, but as a collective, as the third game, as it, you know, all together, I would be putting just Platinum in because it represents both of them, if that makes sense. I think I'm butchering my own rules here, but we're going to go through it all anyway, and we'll talk and whatnot about it. But, you know, hey-oh, here's my list. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. But let's get on with Dan's favourite Pokemon games of all time. Ha ha ha, got your bone. What are you going to do now, prick? Got your fucking bone. No. Alright, Alolan Marowak. Ha 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 ha. And kicking off our list is Pokemon X and Y, the games to really introduce, well not really, they did introduce to the 3D world of Pokemon, new way of battling. Well, there was a new mechanic of battling, Mega Evolution, but a new way of looking at our battles and how we go around our Pokemon worlds. And we're in the Kalos region, and Pokemon X and Y was a step in a... He's crying because he can't bury his bone anywhere because we don't live in dirt. We live in a house and the back garden's concrete. But anyway, well, I forgot what I was saying now, dickhead. It really did evolve Pokemon and how it was going in terms of the technology and what they can do with it, how they can make it look from, you know, where we used to be back in the day to this new 3D model, and how they've improved the 3D model into games like, well, I know this might be a bit of a joke because of all the bugs of that in Scarlet and Violet, but to Scarlet and Violet and stuff, and Let's Go and Sword and Shield and shit. And I adored X and Y. I thought it had a solid enough Pokedex, it had a solid enough team, it had a solid enough bad guys, it had solid enough legendaries, it had decent starters, Fennekin line, meh, but you know, Quilava, Chespin and Froakie, great. And then the anime series itself, not that we're including that, but just an extra little point for it. The anime series was great. I love that. Like I said, the Mega Evolution concept was fantastic. Getting these old and loved Pokemons bringing them back, you know, Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, and giving them an extra bit more love. The fact that you get 2 starters in his games, because you get your original starter, then you go back further on, and then eventually you'll get the choice between the original trio to then have them Mega Evolve and whatnot. But the X and Y games were so much fun. I think they were absolutely awesome. A lovely, beautiful France-inspired region and shit with great history and added a lot to the Pokemon lore. Pokemon X and Y, gorgeous games. My big contradictory of the list, I guess it's a contradictory, but to me it's not. But it's the Let's Go games. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Now, I know you should say, well, Dan, by your rules, you should maybe just add them into the Gen 1 stuff because it's the, you know, still pretty much the Gen 1 story. It is, but at the same time, it also isn't because of the variations. The catching mechanic completely different. The who you are, you're not red, you're not up against blue. That's completely different. The fact that you meet them later on and whatnot, and a couple of other little variations and stuff that goes on it. Even the introduction of the Alolan Pokemon that you can do the in-game trades and whatnot with. You know, the Safari Zone not being there. It's now the Pokemon Go, you know, place and whatnot. So to me, it is, yes, on paper and a bird's eye view, it's the same game, but with a lot of different mechanics. But that's my justification. But let's actually get why I love the game. I think these games were so friggin' awesome. I think they were so cool. The way they had this cute chibi and styled sort of layout was fantastic. How you interacted with your Pokemon was fantastic. Mate, you can't bury your bone anywhere else. Have you buried it on the couch? Is it in the couch? I'm trying to talk Pokemon and you're being very rude. Your tongue went under my lip there. But the Pokemon Let's Go games were fantastic, from riding around on an Arcanine or being carried by your Snorlax. I don't know, did Snorlax carry you? I'm sure he carried you. Or did you just sort of hang on to the back? Whichever one it was. And then you had you walk Pokemon and the Pokemon sort of like running beside you and shit like that and stuff like that, and how they followed you, seeing how different Pokemon were doing, like the Venusaur doing his whole frog jumps and whatnot. The catching style was, I think my dog's just being a dick. The catching style was great, and it was so much fun. When they first announced it, I thought that's going to be a little bit weird, a little bit different. But I did fall in love with it straight away, especially when you can have the whole 2-player crack and you do it, and when you'd find enough chances, for example, and you just have to keep catching them to get EXP up and whatnot at the end, when I wanted to get everybody to a level 100. Really going back and battling the masters of every Pokemon, the Caterpie battles, the Motopod battles, which brought a lot back memories from the anime and stuff, the Charmander, the Charizards, all of the, you know, the single battles, the story of Red, Blue and Green being in there, and you can read back and go back and revisit them and battle them and whatnot, was absolutely awesome. But so yeah, I know it was the same technical game, but it was a little bit different, and it had enough variation to be a separate game for me. So Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and I can class them as different to the Gen 1 games. I think. Somebody correct me in the comments below. Next up, it's 2 games that got a little bit of stick from a lot of people, but for me, I absolutely love them. And it's Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. You could chuck in the Ultra stuff if you want, but for me, when they come out, it didn't really add much of a layer. Yes, we got the Necrozma stuff and whatnot, the Naganadel, sorry, you know, the Poipole, and a bit more interaction with the Ultra Beast stuff and the different wormholes and all that carry on. But just Sun and Moon for me. I thought these games were outstanding. The Alola region, what a beautiful world to set the world of Pokemon in. You know, from the water parts, the jungly parts, the desert, well, the resorty parts, going to each island in the middle, the story between it. The only thing that really ticks me off, which I like the concept and I like the story, I just don't like the design, was the Ultra Beast stuff. Because to me, the designs of them just look like Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. I mean, it would make sense if they come from a different, you know, if you come from a wormhole, you know, Ultra Space and all this carry on. They are going to look a bit weird and a bit fucked and a bit mental and shit. I hated using them and I never would use them because, like I said, they just look far from Pokemon designs. But like I said, that was also, I guess, the point for them. I'm trying to defend the people I'm arguing against here, but I'm like that. I'm too nice. But I love these. Solid decks, great starters. They got the starters absolutely pinned on right here. The bad guy team was a little bit okay. You know, Team Skull was cool. What's his name? Yeah, the leader. He was a bit wild and a bit crazy and a bit mental. The whole story, you know, Lily being left and her mum just being an absolute lunatic and fusing eventually with an Ultra Beast and shit. Bit crazy, but the overall story was fantastic. Having the starter, the legendary, like, you know, found about from early on, evolving and going the way that does and whatnot, was all cool and amazing. But take the story out of it, and you just had this beautiful, amazing world of Pokemon, this vastly rich and beautiful world, which so many different scenarios in my head. If I'm thinking about a Pokemon adventure, it just fits into absolutely perfect. And then we get Pokemon involved like Lurantis and stuff that I absolutely adored. We get the ride Pokemon, they got involved, you know, the Tauros and the Charizard, and who else do we have as ride Pokemon? The many others that I can't think. Who did you? Mantine Surf. Was it Mantine? It was Mantine Surf, wasn't it? Yeah. It's been fucking. It feels like it's been ages. I haven't actually that long recently done Moon because I'm hashtag Team Moon. Lunala, great Pokemon. But yeah, Pokemon Sun and Moon, I love them games. I thought they were great. Yes, people said handholdy and, you know, too easy and shit. I get that. Z moves were cool as fuck. I should really mention them as well. But Pokemon Sun and Moon, I had to make the list. Pokemon Legends Arceus, yes. Again, somebody a lot smarter than me. Correct me in the comments below. Can I include this as a main series game? Should it be a main series game? I don't know, but to me it is, because it can help exploring the lore of the early days of Pokemon and whatnot. And wow, again, when it first started, I thought, that might be a bit dodgy, you know, I want my gyms, I want my typical trainer battles, I want this, I want that, and got the game, played for it, and I don't think I've had more of a relaxing time. And somebody else said this, I don't know if I commented on their comment or they commented on my comment on something, I can't remember, saying, this is the most relaxing game I've played in my entire life. The music in the background, the way you're wandering around and stuff, and the way you're catching your Pokemon, and the art style and the aesthetic look of the game. It was just so beautiful. The Pokédex stuff was a little bit annoying, the way that you had to catch multiple versions of this or interact with a Starly this many ways and wanted to get the full Pokédex entry and stuff. But I love coming back and forward from my little village, you know, doing the little missions and tasks for other people and exploring the world of Pokemon that way, seeing these big, ancient, massive bad, like Golem. The big badass Golem was on my team for so long. The introduction of a new Cloud Bastard. I'm forgetting everybody's names here. But you know, the Sky fucking, what are they called again? The Sky Trio. The Sky, it's now a quintuplet. Whatever. Shiny Hunt in the game was great when they brought the storms and whatnot in. Hisuian Zoroark. The Hisuian starters, we get to start the game not only with a typical starter trio, but the starters from various different regions, with Oshawott from the black and white stuff, from Cyndaquil from the gold and silver stuff, and with Rowlet from Sun and Moon stuff. Of course, I went Rowlet. But then not only that, they give a spin on these. We now get Decidueye, who was grass fighting. Completely lost my trail of thought there because my pal rang and I didn't know where we're at. But we're talking about the Legends game. We're talking, yeah, Decidueye turning into grass fighting, Samurott turning into water dark, and then Typhlosion turning into fire ghost. And they were great. My least favourite probably out of them was probably Samurott. I don't know why. But when the early leaks and that come into, people talk about, you're like, whoa, this is fucking nuts, this is mad. And the fact that they were willing to give these regional variants and regional forms to starters, something that they haven't really done, because the starters have usually sort of been left untouched, not including like Mega Evolution and whatnot. But, and it's well to chuck out a Pokemon game. Yes, you got the side stuff and whatnot, but to chuck out, to me, what is a core Pokemon game and ignore the main proper mechanics apart from filling up your decks and getting rid of that, you know, your gym battles and whatnot, and changing them with these big, massive, monstrous battles against, you know, the big Avalogs and the big Hisuian Electrode and stuff, and changing it that way. It was fucking awesome. The way that you had to go around catching and stuff, rolling around in the grass, being sneaky, maybe chucking a berry or chucking a mud ball or whatever, and the styles and the ways of catching was fucking awesome. And then you get the whole story of Arceus, the origin form Dialga and Palkia, which are disgusting looking, like they're fucking horrible. I think they've ruined them, but was still a cool story to explore. And then Arceus and you know your Arcphone and whatnot. And then the way that tied up with Brilliant Diamond and China Pearl, and it all and it all went like a full circle. It was fucking awesome. But like I said, the biggest takeaway for me was the most relaxing game I've ever played. Next, it's the new boys, Scarlet and Violet. I absolutely adore these games. These games to me, right, when people were kicking off, and again, you're not wrong, it's each their own experience. They want to experience the game however they want to. A lot of people were annoyed and pissed off and couldn't stand the whole bugginess and the glitchiness of it, which is fine. You've paid a lot of money, hard-earned money, to play these games and stuff, and you want them to be as perfect as possible. To me, couldn't care less. I would happily go back to the days of just walking into walls and having that sound and stuff. So when it comes to graphics and whatnot, I personally don't care. I'm not here for graphics for Pokemon. I'm here for the story and the adventure and the you know, the unique Pokemon and stuff like that. And I love these games. Elements I couldn't really give a shit about, like the making the sandwiches. You see a lot of great memes about, you know, certain legendaries need this big epical thing, and you get to the bikey boys and they're like, sandwich. It's quite funny. I had a fucking heartbreaking moment, a gut-wrenching moment. You know, the whole when you're you're learning about the Hermit Misker and stuff, and Thingy's dog, oh my fucking God, what a heartbreaking, just gut-wrenching thing that is. Turning out the bad guy, well, not the bad guys, but turning out you got to fight your professor with AI crazy shenanigans. What's happened to his parents? You know, all that carry-on going on. And there's still a big mystery lurking. Of course, we've got the DLCs coming soon, and these DLCs look so awesome. But this beautiful, vibrant, amazing world of the Paldea region, fantastic. Starters, meh, are a bit hit and miss. The Pokedex is a bit hit and miss. There are certain Pokemon there that I adore, and there's certain Pokemon there I'm like, not for me, thank you. That's why it's not ranked as high. But as the games, as the story, the bad guy team, okay, I guess. But the story, the landscape, the real sense of a proper, amazing Pokemon adventure in this, the 4 legendaries you get through each of the gates, that story itself, beautiful. The Academy stuff was great. Fair enough, I did all the classes, I took all the classes and whatnot, but it was a little bit, yeah. The one thing that really, like I said, still just pisses off was when you become champion and you beat the champion, one of the weakest champions we have ever seen, by the way, visuals. What the fuck? Like, Cynthia and all them bad boys, just, geez, so hard to beat. This was just, okay, that was easy. But you just get the champion rank, and then you have to do this, like, tournament, who is the op? And I'm like, no, I'm fucking champion. I've played this game. It did annoy us a little bit, but yeah, for an adventure game, to me, Pokemon's all about being on the adventure. It just smashed it, and I adore these games, and I can't wait to get my fingers and my teeth when I get some money together, because I'm a broadcast bitch Optimus into the TCG expansion of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I can't fucking wait for that. But yeah, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, mwah. 5 is Emerald. Now, I know Jimmy James Boy will appreciate this being on the list because you are a Hoenn boy, aren't you? But yes, I mean, you can include Ruby and Sapphire, go for it. But if I was to ever go back to them games, it's usually always Emerald I do. I'd always just play Emerald. So I'm sort of looping in one and just saying Pokemon Emerald. But the Generation 3 games, fucking awesome. It was still on that massive high of Pokemon Gold and Silver, where this game, I think, is universally loved by all fans. I think most fans are absolutely in love with this game. But again, great, fantastic story. You've got the whole Team Aqua, Team Magma shit going on. Groudon and Kyogre going at it and stuff. Great starter trio until you get to Blaziken. I'm a little bit meh about Blaziken, but by God, I friggin' love Sceptile, and I friggin' love Swampert and that whole line of shit. The decks overall's great. You know, we get the likes of Salamence in there, Flygon and whatnot. People like Gardevoir and stuff. And some of them are a little bit like Ludicolo. I love Ludicolo as like a dumb bastard, but as a Pokemon, not really that fucking bothered about. But yeah, again, this one had another great sense of adventure. I also do agree there was probably too much water, IGN. I agree with you there. There was a hell of a lot of... Because if you're like me, right, I have weird OCD in the Pokemon games. I have to talk to every single person and character inside of that game, and I have to explore every corner, and it feels like I've cleared the entire map. So when you're clearing the water route, especially when I was young, now you can do it piece of piss easy, quick. But when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, this water does not stop and it does not end. This is a fucking nightmare. But it brought in, apart from that, it brought in something like Steven. I love Steven. I thought he was fantastic. The fossils, I think, are amazing. The legendaries, as well as the legendary Titans. Absolutely. The legendary Golems, sorry. The Regis and shit. Friggin' beautiful. But yeah, the Hoenn games, Pokemon Emeralds, just absolutely Pokemon at its finest. Sword and Shield! I absolutely love these games. When they introduced Pokemon Sword and Shield, the first real proper Pokemon game on the Switch. Yeah, Let's Go was before, but it was like, it felt like a weird, kind of felt like an Arceus, like sort of grey area in your timeline of Pokemon games. But we get to Sword and Shield. Generation 8's here. oh my god, this is so cool. Based on Britain, the place where I'm from, the Pokedex in this game was fantastic. Again, the layout and the landscape and the sense of adventure, going into the wild areas and shit, absolutely amazing. Optimus, were you even born when Sword and Shield come out? No, you weren't, were you? Sword and Shield's older than you. That's mental. The legendaries, oh my god, when I first saw them 4K, it's a dog with a big shield and a dog with a big sword. What the fuck's going on here? The whole Dynamax and Gigantamax phenomenon going on. Eternatus just being an absolute big, massive, handy dickhead in the sky and whatnot. The only thing is, though, as well, when they revealed the bad guy and President What's-His-Face, you just knew you're a dodgy dickhead, you. Turns out it was. The fossils in this, though, for me, were definitely, see what they're trying to do, and I liked what they were trying to do, but the end result, a bit weird and fucked up. Oh my god. One of my biggest things in life, alongside comic books and Pokemon stuff, is football. I live and breathe football. Newcastle United, that's my love, but I'll watch it. The other day, we had the Liverpool-Manchester United smash 7-0, shit like that. I fucking live for. And to have your Pokemon battles and whatnot in the style of this crazy sort of football pitch, looks like a football match is about to go down. So, and what looks to be football stadiums, just so cool. The music in this, when it ramped up, was great. I fucking loved it so much. Like I said, the landscape, the story. Again, the bad guys in this were decent enough. They're just like punk rockers and whatnot, but that bleeds into the history of Britain and stuff. That was kind of cool. A lot of people went sick for Marnie, didn't they? You are your weird little sexual deviants. But yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shields absolutely ticked near enough every box for me possible. So fucking amazing. Again, I know people kicked off saying, well, Breath of the Wild, look, this fantastic. Why does this look like this? Me, again, don't give a shit. I'm here for the adventure. I'm here for the Pokemon. If grass doesn't look properly like grass, not bothered. Come on, Platinum! I fucking love Pokemon Platinum. I friggin' love Gen 4. Starters, amazing. Decks, amazing. Bad guy team, amazing. The legendaries, Giratina, my fucking boy, amazing. Yes, Pokemon Platinum, we go to the Sinnoh region. Are you choosing Turtwig? Are you choosing Piplup? Or are you choosing Chimchar? I fucking forget what his name's is. Always a difficult choice. Always, of course, for me, though, Turtwig, he's up there. There he is. He's chilling next to Bulbasaur, just having the time of his life. But again, I can happily replay these games, and I know Turtwig's my favourite, but I'll pick any of them. It is a hard game, though, for me to choose a separate team. I'm always, 99% of the time, going for Torterra, Staraptor, not Staravia, I'm evolving it, Luxray, Garchomp. Who else do we usually get to fit the bill quite often? Floatzel, Lucario was in there quite a lot. Occasionally I'd go for one of the Fossily boys. But yeah, I'm quite bad at not, making my team a bit more diversity in my team. It's like the same sort of lot, which I don't know if that's... I know a lot of people, there's a lot of memes out there about it, and I can kind of relate. But these games were fantastic. Platinum's another game that I think is universally loved. Again, you could just stick Diamond and Pearl in these. I'm sort of saying Platinum, but I'm doing the whole lot. But Platinum is the go-to if I, again, like the Emerald game. If I go to it, I'm playing Platinum. Going to the distortion world and doing all that kind of shit. Having a great, like we mentioned, Cynthia, having a great champion. Cynthia, on her day, she's always got the same day because she's always the same person you play her. But... when I was younger and the games come out, it was a bit difficult, with a Togekiss and her Garchomp and stuff. You always a bit like, fuck, this is a bit of a nitty and gritty battle here. It's going to be quite tense. But all of it played out so well and so beautiful. It's an amazing landscape. It's an amazing region with a great lore and a great story behind it. Again, we delve more into the mystery of time and space and Arceus and whatnot. The late Guardians and getting involved in all of them. But Pokemon Platinum, mon ami. I've done that quite a lot now, haven't I? To a lot of these games. Number 2, and again, anything that spins off these, you can wrap it into one, but it's gold, silver, and we might as well chuck crystal in there. Unlike Emerald and Platinum and the Heart, Gold, Soul, you can just chuck them all in the winner. I know this, again, I've said at the start of the video, Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver has a little bit more to it and stuff, but if I was having to actually pick, I would probably just choose, this includes crystal, just gold, purely because I love Ho-Oh, and when these games first got announced and I saw them covers, I was like, wow, Pokemon is back. I'm a little bit older. I've got a bit more understanding of these games. Let's fucking get to it. But not only that, when you wrap these games, oh my god, having the fact that it's all done, you're like, yeah, it's done. Wait a second, I'm going back to Kanto. I'm going back to this place that I've already revisited and seen these people I've already seen. And then next thing you know, you're fighting Red. And you're like, oh my god, I was you not long ago. Even though for years, I always thought Red was Ash. When you played the games before, it's just Ash. Hence, I always called him Ash. Well, I guess they are technically the same people anyway, just in like a separate universe, like a variant, I guess, in a weird way. But the Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, all of them, they hold a lot of love and a lot of memory and a lot of nostalgia. And just, you know, when you go back to a happy place, I'm quite often playing these games in my mind. And again, whether I'm playing them, the actual hard copies, I'm pointing down there because the 2DS is down there, or I'm playing on the what we're trying to say, when we're playing, you know, the hard copies, or I'm playing just the downloadable ones on the DS and shit, it doesn't matter because the same music's playing, the same graphics, the same sound effects, the same battle animations. It's all outstanding. It's all beautiful. It's all perfect. It's again another outstanding and fantastic story. Learning more about the history and whatnot of this particular region, not so much the Pokemon world, I guess, as a whole, like you would in like Platinum and stuff. But just nailing it again, absolutely nailing it. The Pokedex, just perfection. The starters, absolute perfection again. Team Chikorita, obviously it's a grass type. Meganium, love it. But Cyndaquil, beautiful. Totodile, beautiful. Yes, it's more Team Rocket shenanigans and Team Rocket involvement and whatnot. Then you go up against Gold, happens to be Giovanni's boy and whatnot. Going back to the same Elite Four, but this time it's Lance that's the big bad boy, not just the bad boy at the end of the Elite Four, but the big bad boy, the current champion, because Red's gone AWOL and whatnot. And then seeing like Bruno coming back, Koga's now a part of the Elite Four, and you have to go back to when you got Fuchsia City, it's his daughter and stuff. The story, it is what it is. Having one of the hardest fucking gym battles for a while until you realise, yeah, I'll just get into the arena, learn double kick, away we go, Miltank, go fuck yourself. Being an absolute pain in the bugger. Baby Pokemon being involved, the fact that we get eggs and whatnot, eggs being a huge part of this game and this story. Visuals, Pokemon Gold and Silver, and all of this will go down as just some of the best games for me of all time. My clicky don't work. My clicky don't work. My clicky don't work. I have to click on the camera now. And finally, you've probably guessed it, it's Pokemon Red, Blue, and fuck it, chuck Yellow into the mix. Chuck Leaf Green, Fire Red. And I guess chuck the Let's Go games into it, which would then make me contradict my 9th part of this list, but we're going to stick Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Oh my god, visuals. This was just, I know a lot of people say, you know, Pokemon's got so much further and Pokemon's got so much better and shit. And you're absolutely right, it has graphic-wise and stuff. But again, Pokemon for me, it will always be, even though I'm still interacting with it in the present with new games, new cards, all this carry on, new episodes of the show, new films and shit. But it will always be nostalgic because the first time that I crossed eyes upon this world and just fell in love with it instantaneously, and just I knew that this was a franchise and a thing that I wanted in my life forever, no matter how far it stretches and when it stops and whatnot. And making that first choice of your first starter, for me again, it's always Bulbasaur. Getting that Bulbasaur Golden Adventure, then always getting my Pidgey. And alongside this, I'm doing the anime and whatnot, and you know, the cards and everything else that followed the game not long after and stuff. And constantly replaying. As soon as you finish the game, new game, start again. New game, start again. But I always fall under that same trap of near enough the same team. You can guarantee for my first 10 playthroughs, it was always Bulbasaur. And every playthrough from this day on, still to this day, whenever I play these games, there's always a Pidgey, and hence why Pidgeotto and the Pidgey line holds so much meaning to me. But again, we fall into this when you're younger and you first fall into this beautiful, amazing little world. You're like, wow, this world of Pokemon. I've got to beat the gym leader there. Oh, that, that looks like Brock. Well, it is Brock. I've got to beat you in the gym now. Oh, look, you look like Misty. It is Misty. I've got to beat you in the gym. And then get on to LT Surge and Erica and Blaine and Koga and Team Rocket and all this carry on. It's just so great. Just so fucking absolutely amazing. Lance being the final bad boy, but no, he's not. Here comes your rival throughout the whole game. Smile you later. Even though you keep smashing him, he still thinks he's better than you. Interacting with the likes of, I don't know, Lapras for the first time. The mysteries of the Safari Zone. Go into the abandoned museum and see what's going on there. Learning about the history of Mewtwo and stuff. And eventually going on into Cinnabar Island, Cerulean Cave, and seeing Mewtwo, getting Mewtwo and being like, oh my god, I've got fucking Mewtwo Mewtwo on my team. This is nuts. The mystery and the not really actually there, but Mew behind the truck and whatnot, and all that carry on. The glitches to get Mew, the glitches to get Missing No, cheating to get loads of rare candies. Just everything about this game was just, it's like literally one of the happiest times of my life. There's few times, like memories I want to go back to. One of them would be the 4-4 for Newcastle against Arsenal, being 4-0 down, outstanding. One of them would be my first time in the cinema, not my first time, the first time watching the Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, in the cinema, just absolutely loving life and having the time of my life. But not other than that, coming over from school, sitting by my little window, my porch in my house, the couch is there, I sit this little thingy, my little glass of milk and my cookies in front of us, trying to get whatever light reflection I could, and just playing away for hours upon hours, Cartoon Network on in the background, and just being like, and that's where I want to go back to. And these games will always be arguably my favourite games of all time. It's either these or the Arkham games, but I've talked about the Arkham games in plenty of other videos. But visuals, of course, number one, red, blue, and yellow, and whatever else, red, blue shenanigans you want to chuck into the mix. There we have it, visuals. That was my 10 favourite Pokemon games of all time. Probably going to be a bit of a lengthy video, so if you have made it to the end, well done you. Feel sorry for you though. But visuals, let me know your favourite Pokemon games in the comments below. Let me know what you think of my list. Your least favourites, your favourites, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's get the Pokemon conversation going. And I better get my little ass sorted and head to work. Thank you so much for watching visuals. You guys are literally the best. Bros, keep being you. I think I've got coffee up my nose. And keep on keeping on.